What's going on, guys? I got a pretty cool video for today. We're going to see how the best NHL team based on analytics can do in NHL 21. So for this team build, basically I'm using the WAR stat. If you guys don't know, that equals wins above replacement. So the way this works, a replacement player, say 13th forward or 7th defenseman, would give you a 0 WAR, and then a really good player would give you a 1+ WAR. That means on their own, they're helping your team win one extra game in the regular season. So looking at the forwards, Austin Matthews has a 5.0 WAR just about, which is pretty ridiculous. He's actually higher than Connor McDavid, which is very surprising, I think just because he scores more goals. But our 12 forwards for this team, based on the WAR stat, are Matthews, McDavid, Pavelski, Stone, Rantanen, DeBrincat, Draisaitl, Marchand, Mangiapane, Kaprizov, Sam Reinhart, and Andre Burakovsky. You can see some really good players just missed out: Barkov, Pacioretty, Point, and Gaudreau. In terms of the defense, it's wins above replacement with shooting adjusted, as this is what you're supposed to use for the defensive WAR stat. We have Tanev, Fox, Pelech, Pesce, McAvoy, and Taves as our 6 top defensemen. McArthur just barely gets beat up by Taves, which kind of sucks. McArthur, of course, much higher rated. Same with Dougie Hamilton, especially after recent roster updates. And you can see there's a bunch of other solid defensemen on this list who don't quite make the top 6. Also, guys, I almost forgot to mention, but this WAR stat is only based on the past 2021 season. Otherwise, Chris Tanev would definitely not be number 1 on the list. And finally, guys, in terms of the goalies, we have Connor Hellebuyck there as number 1 with 3.2 wins above replacement, followed by Andre Vasilevskiy. So, on their own, these goalies are giving your team an extra 6 points. Like, that is pretty big. It might not sound like a lot, but even say a 1 WAR, if all 18 of your skaters have a 1 WAR, it's an extra 36 points in the season. So it does add up. In terms of the game, guys, we're going to be starting out the Ottawa Senators for this team, as they have the lowest rating in franchise. For our custom team here, the San Francisco Analytics, I figured San Francisco, of course, is where the Silicon Valley is, where a bunch of tech things happen. It made sense. That's, of course, why we have the rocket ship logo, again, science-based, and this team is going to the moon. Top players, McDavid, Draisaitl, and Vasilevskiy. The team overall is ridiculous. We have a 95 overall team, so the only team even close to us there is the Lightning at 91. Should win the Stanley Cup, but you never know with this game. And if you guys want to shoot the lines for this team are looking like, you'll see I actually already simmed 6 preseason games. Draisaitl has 11 points. I think he actually had 5 points in the first game, so since then, he's basically been a point per game. Team is currently 4-1-1. Even though this team isn't technically the best team possible, I feel like they're pretty close. So first line, you got the 2 best players based on analytics, Matthews, McDavid. And I'm sure some people would argue they're the 2 best players in the NHL. Playing on their right wing there is Rantanen, getting a +1. You got Stone, Draisaitl, Marchand on the second line. I did really want Draisaitl to play with McDavid, but I saw Draisaitl at 90 faceoffs, which makes me feel like he's too good as a centerman to waste him on the wing. And obviously, McDavid has to be your first line center. With Marchand on that second line, Draisaitl, Stone get a +1. Third line's Kaprizov, Pavelski, DeBrincat. And then fourth line there, you got Mangiapane, Reinhart, and Burakovsky. So this is using the EA ratings. I forgot to mention that, guys. You can kind of tell, too. Like, my custom ratings definitely, look at the analytics. Mangiapane is non-80. I think I made him 83, maybe even 84. And Pavelski's at 87. McDavid, I think I have a 97. Stone's like a 91 or something. Burakovsky's probably like an 84. But I think the biggest place we see this is actually with the defense. Like, our defense is not high rated at all. So Adam Pelech there, 84 on the first pair with McAvoy's an 87. Pesce and Fox, 84, 85 respectively. Taves and Tanev, both 83s. Now they're getting a +3 on the bomb pair, which is really nice. So they're playing like 86s. Top 4 there all gets a +1. But like I mentioned, I think I made Pelech 87, McAvoy a 90, Pesce 85, 86, Fox like an 88. With immediately potential. This dude just won the Norris. Looking at his rating, you would never know. Taves is like an 85, I think, maybe 86. Tanev's an 84, maybe 85. I think the big thing is, honestly, EA ratings just don't really rate defensive defensemen high enough. Like, guys that aren't putting up all those points. And in terms of the goalies, they actually do get the goalie ratings quite right. Vasilevskiy, highest rated goal in the game at 91. Hellebuyck backing him up there's a 90. Now, Hellebuyck had the higher WAR, so I'll have him in place as a starter, but Vasilevskiy will probably still get more starts. The first power play unit is just ridiculous. No defenseman, we don't need one. Draisaitl, McDavid, Matthews, Rantanen, and Stone, like 5 of the best players in the game. Second unit there is still pretty solid. You can see it definitely drops off. We're going top heavy. The 4-man power play, even again, just all forwards. I think Fox is the only D-man getting any power play time. The PK is not too bad. Kind of interesting though. McDavid and Draisaitl are both pretty offensive guys. Fit our PK better than like Pavelski and Reinhart, more defensive players on our team. 3-man penalty there, you can see -1 for both. Pavelski, I did fit in just because he's got the good defensive stats, and it's kind of the best we could get. Unless, I'm wondering, does Draisaitl give us a 0? No, yeah, it's still a -1, so I want to basically get Pavelski in there a little bit, give Draisaitl a break. I think McDavid's playing literally every single line, but he can do it. He's the best player in the world. So let's look at the roster, guys. I'll also show you the captaincy here. I decided to actually do it based on the WAR. So Matthews running the C, and then McDavid, Pavelski there ran the 2As. So they were the second, third best behind Matthews. Take a look here at our overalls now in this last preseason game against the Red Wings. Also, I can give you guys a quick look at the jerseys I made. So right there's the home, navy blue with some green and blue. I was trying to think of like analytic, computery colors. I don't know, like the Matrix, computer glitch, stuff like that. The alternate's actually like the green one. I think the blue one's probably the sharpest. So ratings there, 100 offense. Like I said, our offense is stacked. 90 defense, could use some work. And then 95 goaltending. Literally, we had the 2 best goalies in the game, I think. So you can't get better goaltending than that. We'll sim this game against the Red Wings. See how we do in our final preseason game before we sim the entire year. Let's see here. And we actually beat them 7-0. So finished preseason 5-1-1. Draisaitl leading scorer there, 12 points in 7 games. We get started the sim now. I think this team should be pretty good. So the trade deadline here, guys, the record of 36-19-6. It's a solid record, but honestly, I was expecting this team to be a bit better. I mean, we got some of the best players in the game. We're only third in the division there, behind the Panthers and the Sabres. I don't know how the Sabres, like, they don't have Taylor Hall or anything like that. How are they second place in the division? McDavid, though, is going off. 85 points, 61 games. I have no idea how the Buffalo Sabres doing better than the best analytics-based team the NHL can have. That is something. Also, guys, I almost forgot to mention, but this WAR stat is only based on the past 2021 season. Otherwise, Kristanen would definitely not be number 1 on the list. Alright, guys, the regular season is now over, and one of the weirdest sims ever. We finished with a record of 46, 27-9, which is really solid, 101 points. And we have the last playoff spot in the East. Look at that. I mean, the 5th spot with 101 points. That's usually good for even the division title. Everyone in the Metro did worse than we did. I think we had more points than every single team in the West, except for the St. Louis Blues, who won the conference. So, I don't know how you get 101 points and get the 8th playoff spot. That's just lunacy. Like, that's so crazy. McDavid there finished 107-82. So, very solid season for him. Honestly, I thought he could have done even better with amazing line mates in Matthews and Ranson. Like, he usually does just as good, if not better, playing with, like, Draisaitl and Puljujarvi or whoever Edmonton has on his team in the sim. We'll see if McDavid on Edmonton did better than our McDavid. Matthews there at 99. They actually tied in terms of goals. Ranson 85, Stone 82, so only 4 guys point per game or more. Draisaitl at 80, surprised it wasn't a point per game. I mean, he was close. Marchand there, and then a big drop-off after our top 6. DeBrincat only had, 47, but really it's just the ice time. Like, yeah, 13 minutes, Caps up 13 minutes. They just really weren't playing enough to produce for us. Mangiapane, 34 and 80, outscored Reinhart. That's a little surprising, honestly. Then all of our defensemen were actually all the lowest scoring guys. Like I said, none of our defensemen are really that offensive, although I guess Adam Fox kind of is. Only had 25 points, 22 minutes a night. I feel like he could have done better than that. Goaltending-wise, so Vasilevsky there, 57 games, .914 and a 2.5. Hellebuck, wow, he has 530 games, the .89 and 3.14. Not really sure why he would have played bad for us. Very, surprising to see that. And next, you just want to take a look at the entire league and see how our players did. So Ovechkin wins the Art Ross and the Maurice Richard. Wow, what a great year for him. Contract year. Eichel second. Our McDavid was third. Malkin, Kuznetsov. Our Matthews there. Tavares, Crosby. Colorado Rantanen. Interesting. Our Rantanen probably wasn't too far off. Yeah, there he is. So, surprised again, our players didn't do even better than they already did. We'll take a look here at defensemen. Ekman Larson, point per game with the Coyotes. Goalies here, Bobrovsky, big year for Florida. So unlike real life, same with Allmark, putting up a big year for Buffalo. Again, EA stats, what's Bobrovsky rated? 86. I mean, it's not terribly overrated. Definitely, I think they dropped him, but he could be, even an 84. Rookie skaters, Dylan Cousins, 60 points there with the Sabres. I still can't believe they had such a good season. Like, Panthers there, 109, so that's where we're going to play in the first round. Lightning 105, tied with the Sabres. So the Stanley Cup winning team and the last team in the league in real life, tied for points. Maple Leafs, us. Bruins missed the playoffs. Canadians, Red Wings. This is going to be a weird one. So last playoff spot in the East, and we finished 6th in the NHL. We finished higher in the league standings than our playoff position. That is, I don't know if I've ever seen that before. Like, that is absolutely ridiculous. 8 teams there with 100 plus points. Boston finishes 10th in the league and doesn't make the playoffs. Washington 13th and doesn't make it. There's going to be some crap teams squeaking in. I guess Dallas is the worst one, 18th, 87 points. And the last NHL is the Devils there, 62. We'll get started now, I guess, guys, with this playoff sim going up against the Panthers first round. We're a better team. We should beat the Panthers, but we'll see what happens. Like, they won the President's Trophy. So, Here we go. First 2 games, we're in Florida. And we get a 6-1 win, a 6-4 win. Okay, so these guys, they're coming to play in the playoffs. 3-2 win. 4-2 loss, no sweep. We just got to win one of the next 3. And there we go. So even though we're the 8th best team in the East, apparently, we are the better team on paper. We get it done. Beat the Panthers. And let's see who we're going to play in the second round. It's the Tampa Bay Lightning, so we get to play both Florida teams. They're not making our playoff run easy at all. So defending Cup champs, really defending back-to-back Cup champs real life. 2-0 loss, 6-1 win. So 1-1 here. Head home. That's tough. So if we lose the next game, we are out of the playoffs. We lose to the defending Stanley Cup champs in 5 games. So pretty crazy. Again, I think in real life, this team does a lot better than a second round playoff exit. Especially, like, I don't know how to look at the regular season. 101 points, but we had the final playoff spot. So strange. And look at that, guys. Just like real life, the Tampa Bay Lightning win back-to-back Stanley Cups. So don't feel too bad about our team, I guess. You know, losing to the eventual Stanley Cup winner, especially the ones who won it in real life. Detroit there gets the first overall pick. But that definitely tells you something about this Tampa Bay Lightning team when they can beat a team as stacked as ours. 95 overall. They were 91, but we had the same goalie. I think we had better defense aside from Hedman, and we definitely had a better offense. They still found a way. Matthews there, 13 points in 10 playoff games. We'll see how everyone did here in the playoffs. Behind him, McDavid 12, Rantanen 11, Stone 10. Draisaitl definitely could have performed a bit better. Got outscored by DeBrincat and Kaprizov. Both guys playing 6 minutes less a night. Vasilevsky for us, 5-5, a .898 and 2.82. One thing I should have done, after the regular season, I should have let Hellebuyck play more playoff games because he did have the better WAR stat, but too late obviously now. Playoff tree, so Lightning there beat the Sabres in 6, us in 5, Rangers in 7, and then the Stars in 6. Again, I mean, Tampa Bay won it in real life, so that's, you know, an accurate sim. I feel like we would have been a bit better though if the sim was more accurate. Florida there, President's Trophy. Individual here, Ovechkin, Art Ross, and the Hart. Ekman Larson, James Norris. Definitely not like real life. Lady Bing, McKinnon, Cousins, Calder, Point, Conn Smythe, Vasilevsky, Vezina for the Lightning, not for us. And you can see Hellebuyck, of course, won it the year before. Bennington, William Jennings, though. Forbert on Winnipeg got to Bill Masterton. Predators coach Jack Adams. Bergeron, Selke, Ovechkin, Ted Lindsay. Well, he won the Reach Richard. So somehow our stacked team didn't win a single individual award. That's pretty crazy. Definitely that was a strange sim, but like I said, I think it goes to show you EA definitely needs to look at analytics more, I think, when making their player ratings, and hopefully that's something we see with NHL 22. Some guys I think really look at would be Mangiapane, maybe a Mackenzie Weegar, some other guys who maybe not have huge point totals, but are solid players. Adam Pelech, Devin Taves, guys like that. So really hoping we see a big change to the player ratings in 22, but I'm not holding my breath. That's going to be it, guys, for this video. If you enjoyed it, leave a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the sub button. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.